never pregnant at all. Instead, the video has emboldened conspiracy theorists. They're calling it Megspiracy, and the pair are being subjected to yet more merciless ridicule. Princess Lilibet Diana had been christened. Why would they use a title for their children that represents an institution they loathe so much? They kept telling the world how ghastly the monarchy is. It's a prison camp. All the royals want to get away from it, but they can't because they're trapped in the world of titles and privilege. And now they want to give their kids the titles of prince and princess, even though they don't live anywhere near the royal family. They don't do any duties. They do nothing to deserve it. They live in a mansion in Montecito in California.
It's a case about whether you think the birth was real, whether you think there was a surrogate, whether you think Meghan was wearing a moon bump. The fact is, Harry and Meghan lied. Buckingham Palace lied on their behalf. There was a complete cover-up over the birth of Prince.
You can feel something is off right now, and it's not just rumors flying around online. Piers Morgan is heated again, but this time he's not standing alone. Senior palace insiders are quietly backing him up, and reports are hitting from both the US and the UK at the exact same time.
Harry and Meghan, it's more a case of never reign and never abstain, especially when it comes to nauseating self-publicity, which invariably backfires.
Behind Buckingham Palace doors, something serious is unfolding, and barely anyone is talking about it. This isn't loud drama or public statements either. It's quiet, controlled, and very calculated. A behind-the-scenes investigation is reportedly happening, and it's not focused on Harry or Meghan this time. The spotlight has shifted directly onto Archie and Lilibet, their births, official records, titles, and where they actually stand in the royal line of succession.
They want to give their kids the titles of prince and princess, even though they don't live anywhere near the royal family. They don't do any duties. They do nothing to deserve it. They live in a mansion in Montecito in California and use their own royal titles to make loads of money.
And once you hear what's allegedly been found, missing signatures, questions around a birth certificate, and even a christening with no clear church record.
They're legally covering their backs. There's just too many unknowns. And then of course we have that the doctor that allegedly delivered Lily quit her practice 2 weeks after giving birth to Lily or delivering Lily. That sentence there is missing.
It starts to make sense why Meghan is rumored to be under intense pressure inside that Montecito mansion right now. Stick with this, because every piece connects back to what Piers Morgan has been saying for months, loud and clear. He's been asking one simple question that a lot of mainstream outlets seem to avoid completely. A very direct question. If Harry and Meghan keep using their Sussex titles in every deal, every pitch, every partnership, while at the same time presenting themselves as victims of that same royal system, then what is really going on here? Piers doesn't sugarcoat it at all. He calls it straight hypocrisy, and not on a small level either, on a massive scale. Those titles show up everywhere. Statements, Netflix deals, brand launches, you name it.
Harry and Meghan have never provided any evidence for that highly incendiary claim. It's not like they haven't had the chance to. After all, they pumped out 6 hours of self-indulgent bilge on Netflix, trashing Britain and the press for its racism.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex isn't just who they are anymore. It's part of the brand they're actively selling. And now, according to him, that brand is expanding. Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet, more titles, more visibility, more value attached, more attention, more opportunities, and yes, more money flowing in.
I do now, yeah. I think because it's their currency, isn't it? They've made an awful lot of money, and again, this it's their tact by having that association with the royal family.
It's the cachet and cash.
You mentioned sort of, the favoured journalists that they were briefing in the first instance that they weren't going to have titles, and now there's another screeching U-turn. We already had one of the U-turns about the racism.
Piers Morgan called it exactly that, cash. And when he said it, a lot of people instantly understood what he meant. But here's why he's pushing even harder now. This situation has moved beyond just Harry and Meghan. This is about what those titles mean for their children, and suddenly things get much more serious, very fast. Think back to the Oprah interview.
Hold up.
There's several conversations.
There's a conversation with you,
with Harry,
about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
An interview Piers Morgan has described as one of the most damaging moments for the royal family ever broadcast.
The royal family are a bunch of racists flying around the world. I was in America through all that period, and they all believed it because it had appeared on Oprah. Then he says, I never meant to say anything about racism. What are you all talking about? It's the beastly media. Well, now Harry and Meghan's lick-spittle client journalist Omid Scobie, the man who lied about his age, said he was 33 when in fact he was 38, bit older now.
During that conversation, Meghan claimed Archie didn't receive a royal title because of his skin color. She suggested the palace made a decision based on race regarding her unborn child.
The idea of the first member of color in this family not being titled in the same way that other grandchildren would be, it's not their right to take it away.
Archie had been denied a royal title because of his skin color. That claim spread everywhere. Piers Morgan strongly pushed back on that, saying it wasn't accurate. According to long-standing royal rules under the letters patent from King George V, the situation was not what it was being portrayed as.
There was no racism.
No, none at all, and that was actually quite shameful, what was said at that time.
Let's remember what she said. This is what she told 50 million people around the world. Watch this.
I do recall it and regret it.
Here's where the story takes a sharp turn, and suddenly the details start hitting harder. A lot of people miss this, but the rules around royal titles were never what they were made out to be. Great-grandchildren of a monarch don't automatically get prince or princess titles. It's a standard rule, applied across the board, no exceptions. Archie wasn't singled out, and he wasn't treated differently. The rule simply hadn't reached him at that point, and that's where everything starts to unravel. Piers Morgan didn't hold back. He called it a lie told to millions watching worldwide, aimed at an institution that couldn't respond publicly.
It was a complete...
Appalling.
Hang on, Tessa. It was a complete lie.
Appalling ignorance, and also used in a very, very nasty way to attack people who couldn't answer back.
Yeah.
And now that moment is coming back in a big way, because it's reportedly the exact reason the palace is now digging deep into the children's royal status from the ground up. Once a global narrative like that is built around your children's titles, especially one tied to something as serious as racism, there's no way the palace just ignores it. Every document, every record, every detail connected to Archie and Lilibet is now under intense review, and what's reportedly being uncovered is raising serious eyebrows. And this is where things start moving fast, because Piers Morgan is no longer the only one talking. Reports coming out of News Nation in the US are backing up what royal watchers have been quietly saying for weeks. Prince William is reportedly already preparing for a major move, stripping Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. Multiple senior sources are saying this isn't a maybe situation, it's about timing, and it doesn't stop with Harry and Meghan either. According to the latest reports, the plan could extend to Archie and Lilibet as well, all 4 names on the table. Piers Morgan has been pointing toward this exact outcome for months, and now it's starting to look real. He keeps comparing the situation to Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, 2 figures who, in his view, held on to royal status while causing long-term damage to the institution. His argument is blunt and direct. When people continue to benefit from royal connections without carrying the responsibilities, it creates a serious imbalance, and that's where tensions rise.
Nobody set out to destroy you. You destroyed yourselves in this country with your ludicrous, hypocritical behaviour. The truth be told, what you just said is complete and utter garbage by the British media, the public, and the royal family that they've all now abandoned.
And right now, there's another layer adding pressure. The big deals that once defined Harry and Meghan's post-royal life don't seem as strong as before. The Netflix buzz isn't the same, the podcast chapter has closed, and newer deals appear smaller in scale. A couple with decreasing momentum but still holding tightly to royal branding. That's the kind of situation William reportedly sees as a growing issue he can't ignore. What makes this even more strategic is that it's not being framed as personal. If titles are adjusted across the board, including figures like Beatrice and Eugenie, it turns into policy, not punishment. The idea Piers Morgan keeps repeating is simple. If someone isn't a full-time working royal, the title isn't necessary. Zara Tindall built a strong, respected life without one, and that example keeps coming up. And when you look at Archie and Lilibet, children growing up in California, far removed from royal duties, the question gets even louder. But there's one specific detail making headlines right now that even Piers Morgan finds shocking. Now things take an even more intense turn because Meghan is reportedly not backing down at all. According to people close to her, she's been saying clearly that she will fight this, and if needed, she's ready to take legal action to stop any titles from being removed.
Fewer titles mean there is less of a chance for a degenerate like Prince Andrew, now called Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, to slip through. Which means, as I previously reported, Harry and Meghan will lose their titles, as well as Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie.
And Piers Morgan's reaction? Exactly what you'd expect. He shut that idea down fast. What court? That's the question he keeps throwing out, and it hits hard. Because here's the reality. Royal titles come from the monarch, and that same authority can take them away. There isn't a court in the US or the UK that can force Buckingham Palace to hand titles back to Prince Archie or Princess Lilibet. It doesn't work like that, and it never has. The fact that this legal route is even being talked about is what's raising eyebrows. To Piers Morgan, it signals just how disconnected things may have become behind those Montecito gates right now. But this is where the story really explodes, because it's no longer just about titles, public statements, or legal threats. There's something happening inside the palace that Piers Morgan is calling completely unheard of in modern royal history. Senior advisors at Buckingham Palace have reportedly launched a quiet internal review, one focused directly on Archie and Lilibet. Not surface-level questions either, but deep verification tied to their births, official records, and their exact standing in relation to the crown.
Apparently, they invited all the royals to Lilibet's christening, but they all declined to come, as if they're all going to get on a plane and fly to California to embrace the people who've been trashing them for the last 3 years. But it looks like from the jungle drums, they have been invited to the coronation, right? Yeah. Now, they're holding it out to make it all about them, make it a big drama. So do you think they're actually going to come?
Piers Morgan is very clear on what that signals. The palace doesn't move like this unless something serious is on the table. The monarchy can handle headlines, but uncertainty, especially around lineage, is a whole different level. Because once questions touch the line of succession, it goes straight to the core of the entire institution. And according to current reports, those questions have reached a point where they simply can't be ignored anymore. Then there's the detail that's getting people talking everywhere. Archie's birth certificate, one of the most important legal documents tied to royal succession, was reportedly altered after it was first issued. It's supposed to be fixed, consistent, and crystal clear. But months after his birth, a change was made. Meghan's full legal name, Rachel Meghan Markle, was removed, and in its place appeared only her royal title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. No first name, no surname, just the title. And that detail alone is now raising serious questions in royal circles.
That it just really kind of boggles the mind. I mean, just for titles, for example. So when Archie was first born, they said they didn't want him to have a title. He was going to be a private citizen. I was like, bravo, you understand. He's not going to be a working member of the royal family. He is going to have to live a normal life, get a normal job. That is fantastic. And then it came out later in the Oprah Winfrey interview. Well, they denied him a title and security because he is a mixed race child. And then it was kind of...
This is where things start looking even more questionable, because Piers Morgan is pointing out something that stands out immediately to anyone paying attention. In royal bureaucracy, changes like this are extremely rare, almost unheard of. We're talking about a system where every move is tracked. Someone has to request a change, someone has to approve it, and someone logs it officially. Nothing just happens by accident in that environment. But when investigators reportedly tried to trace this specific change, the explanations didn't line up at all. Meghan's side claimed the palace asked for it, while palace insiders pushed back and said it came from Meghan's team instead. No clear answer, no consistent story. Just a change document and conflicting claims flying in both directions. Then comes the birth announcement, and this is where even more gaps start showing. Royal births usually follow a strict, well-known process: verified delivery, official medical confirmation, named doctors, and a formal palace announcement. With Archie, that structure didn't fully play out. The public was told Meghan had gone into labor after the birth had already happened. Hours went by with confusion, no clear hospital details, and no verified witness confirmations.
Meghan Markle gave birth to Lily because this is what's called plausible deniability. They want to be able to say, hey, we never claimed that she was our daughter in that announcement. They're legally covering their backs. There's just too many unknowns. And then, of course, we have that the doctor that allegedly delivered Lily quit her practice 2 weeks after giving birth to Lily or delivering Lily. That sentence there is missing. That is a vital sentence that Meghan Markle chose not to put in an official statement because she knows she would get into a lot of legal trouble and she needed plausible deniability.
And here's the detail Piers Morgan keeps coming back to. The announcement didn't include signatures from the attending doctors. That might sound small, but it's not. Those signatures aren't just tradition. They serve a constitutional purpose. They confirm the legitimacy of a royal birth in the line of succession. Without them, questions naturally start to build, and calling it privacy doesn't fully explain it. Now shift to Lilibet, because this is where palace attention is reportedly even more intense right now. She was born in California, and everything about her arrival was handled privately through Harry and Meghan's own team. No British doctors involved, no royal medical staff present, no official palace bulletin, and none of the traditional public markers like the easel announcement outside Buckingham Palace. For a celebrity family, that's completely normal. But for a child connected to the British line of succession, it's a major break from centuries of royal protocol, and that's exactly what's now being examined closely.
With either Archie or Lily, and it needs to happen. They need to prove that those children, Meghan and Harry, are not entitled to privacy in this matter. And their privacy is trumped by our right to know that no bastard is going to sit on the throne of this.
And then comes the detail that's really sending shockwaves through royal circles. When palace advisors reportedly checked Church of England records tied to Lilibet's christening in California, they couldn't find any official entry. No registry listing, no confirmation from a bishop, and no acknowledgement from the Archbishop's office at all. Piers Morgan is very direct on this point. A royal christening isn't just symbolic or for photos. It's a formal act that connects a royal child to the Church of England, which is deeply tied to the crown itself. Without that official record, the situation becomes far more complicated because it's no longer just unclear. It raises serious questions about whether that connection has been fully established at all. What's really happening behind closed doors right now doesn't match the polished, picture-perfect image being shown online. Not even close. According to Piers Morgan, the situation in Montecito feels a lot more tense than anything you're seeing on social media. He keeps stressing one key point with more intensity every time. Meghan's current public image, the lifestyle branding, the media deals, all of it stands on one core idea: the connection to the British royal family. Take that away, or even weaken it, and everything starts to shake. And if those royal titles disappear completely, then the whole image risks falling apart fast.
How does it get there? Omid, surely you as the author, you must be furious, right? You must be demanding. Heads roll. And you want names, don't you, ironically? Omid, about who did this to you? Who besmirched your reputation as an author? I would, Omid. I'd want to know right now, especially if I was trying to convince the world that I had nothing to do with it myself, and I'd never ever put these names in writing, and maybe some lawyer had come along and told me not to. That couldn't possibly have happened because you've given us your word, and as I've established so far in this monologue, your word is your bond and should be taken as sacrosanct. Well, I'm going to cut through all this crap. I'm going to tell you the names of the two senior royals.
Piers Morgan doesn't soften it either. Without Sussex attached to every deal, every appearance, every project, Harry and Meghan become something very different in the public eye. In his words, they turn into a couple who stepped away from the most famous family in the world, then spent years publicly criticizing it while building income from that attention. That's not a powerful brand. That's a warning story people talk about. And when it comes to Harry, there's another layer that often gets overlooked. Piers Morgan points out that Harry reportedly truly believed, that no matter where they lived, even all the way in California, his children would always carry that royal identity, that it was permanent, locked in, untouchable. But now, reality seems to be hitting differently. Reports suggest Harry has been trying to reach out to senior members of the royal family, but those calls aren't getting responses. Because once the palace steps into constitutional matters, emotions don't carry weight anymore. The process moves forward regardless, and nothing said publicly can stop it. Piers Morgan is also turning his sharpest criticism toward King Charles in all of this. From his perspective, there were multiple chances to act earlier, and each one passed without strong action. After the Oprah interview, nothing. After the Netflix series, nothing. After the book Spare, still nothing. Each time, Piers Morgan warned the same thing: delaying decisions only builds a bigger issue down the line. And now, that exact situation has arrived, and it's no longer avoidable. The responsibility is shifting toward Prince William, and Piers Morgan makes it clear he sees him as the one prepared to handle it. William has been watching everything unfold step by step, and he understands exactly how serious the situation has become. And here's the part that really defines what could happen next. Prince William isn't expected to act based on emotion. He's focused on protecting the institution, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Because for him, this is bigger than headlines or family tension. His own children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, are directly tied to the future of the monarchy, and that changes how every decision is made. So where does this situation actually lead? According to those closely following the Palace review, there are 3 realistic paths when it comes to Archie and Lilibet's royal status. The first option is a quiet freeze. The titles technically stay, but they stop being used or recognized in any meaningful way. No announcements, no attention, just a slow fade into the background. The second is a quiet reclassification. No big headlines, no public statement. Their names could simply disappear from official royal listings over time, placing them fully outside the working royal structure as private individuals. And then there's the third option, the one Piers Morgan believes is now seriously being considered: a full, formal removal. If the ongoing review concludes that key royal protocols around birth and documentation weren't properly followed, the Crown would have the authority to act. No spectacle, no emotional speeches, just a direct move to protect the system. Piers Morgan's stance hasn't changed, but now it carries more weight than ever. The monarchy, as he puts it, is built to endure. Individuals are not. In his view, Harry and Meghan created their current image around royal status, but the final control still sits with the Crown. Because at the end of the day, it only takes one decision at the top to change everything they've built over the years. So now the real question is, should all of this be made public or handled quietly behind palace walls? Either way, one thing is clear. This situation isn't finished yet.